Welcome to Realtor Gary Kelly's podcast on all things real estate.
Welcome back to Lala Java. We are here with Brad Avergon of Envision Bank, formerly Loan Depot, formerly Mortgage Master, formerly Unemployed, and Michael A. Robbins, who's with Crowley and Cummings. They've both been on the show before. We did a closing the other day, and we were sitting there saying, you know, we really should talk about what it's like to have a group of people, a team, so to speak, working together, because it's always a virtual team, different people. But one of the things that happens to me is someone comes up and says, I want to go look at a house, and I'll say, well, are you pre-approved? Then they go to Brad, and then once the deal starts to come together, well, who's going to represent you from an attorney perspective? Okay, and guess what? The bank and the attorney, there's an overlap. So, Brad, why don't you talk to getting the pre-approval up front as an important part of the process?
Absolutely. So, you know, obviously when folks are looking to go and get ready to purchase a home, they typically start looking online, they start getting a feel for what's out on the market. But really, the first step is getting pre-approved. It's knowing what you can afford, not only what the bank feels you can afford, but what you can afford comfortably. That's really, really important, because at some point, one party may be leaving the workplace, you know, or there may be a change in cash flow, or there may be a windfall coming. There's a lot of different things that we can talk about. But by getting pre-approved is that first step, and it really gives you a license to buy. It enables me as a lender, number one, to look over everything in detail, to make sure that there's nothing we're going to miss, nothing that's going to create a hiccup or a misstep or create stress in the buying process. And on top of that, it also enables me to generate a letter that I can provide to you, Gary, that can be then presented with the offer that says, look, this buyer has been thoroughly vetted. They've been thoroughly looked through. They're a qualified buyer. They're a strong buyer. And that makes for a better transaction.
So I get a letter, and sometimes we'll change the letter based on the property. You might approve them for $600,000. That's a $400,000 house, so we don't. There's a debate. Do we show the $600,000 buying power, or do we show $400,000 because that's what they want to put in on the house? Once that offer is accepted, then we need to have an attorney that can receive the P&S from the seller and stuff, and that's where you kick in. So,
yeah. So what I really try to do is, once the offer's been accepted, the seller's attorney will typically prepare the purchase and sale agreement. A lot of attorneys will give a cursory review of the purchase and sale that's produced. What they'll do is they'll just match it up against the offer and just make sure that 1 + 1 = 2. I have a very different aspect as to how I represent the buyers. What I do is I go through and I go review that purchase and sale, typically with the buyers, and ensure that they understand their rights, their risks, and their responsibilities. Where the key terms being the purchase price, closing date, mortgage amount, those need to reflect the offer. There's about usually 5 or 6 pages of legal documents that need to be reviewed that ensure that the buyer knows what they're getting into and can assess their risks. I really take pride in making sure that my buyers are informed and knowledgeable with respect to what's going on with respect to their contract. And then once we get the contract signed, what I do is I send out an email. I get the loan scheduled. I get the team going together to make sure we're all going to hit that goal. So we have a fully satisfied buyer to make sure that the lending, the title aspects are both acceptable from a lending standpoint and from a buying standpoint.
So it's really important from my perspective. It's not a requirement, but if you've worked together before as a team, you kind of know each other's idiosyncrasies. I know where I can reach you on weekends. I know where to reach you weekends, nights, etc., including knocking on your door if I need to.
Yep.
My point is that's what happens when you work together with people, is you kind of know you can finish sentences for me, etc. And I think that that's a benefit to a buyer rather than just having, I hate to say it, but a loan company out in the Midwest somewhere. I'm from the Midwest, nothing wrong with the Midwest, where they don't have those personal relationships, where you can go say, Brad, I need to get this approved now. How do we do that and make that happen?
Right. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Gary. And what's more is, a lot of times there may be a conditions on the approval, that require some discussion, where I want to make you aware of the conditions while I'm explaining to the buyer, because we can together make sure that that client is protected throughout the transaction. Because really, that's the most important goal, right? We want to make sure that the buyer's deposit is protected at all times, to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, if I can just jump in on that. Typically throughout the country, most states are not time is of the essence. And what that means is that they can close whether it's tomorrow, the next day, next week. Massachusetts is time is of the essence. That means your closing date is your closing date. And a lot of lenders that are unfamiliar with Massachusetts really have a problem in complying with that strict rule in Massachusetts.
You know where else there's a strict rule on time of the essence?
Where?
How long we do these videos. And Sue just gave me the high sign. So I want to thank you both for coming. We're going to come back and do another episode. Thank you all.
Thanks for having me.